Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. This is Roger Wakefield coming to you live from San Diego. How is everybody doing out there today? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get right. There we go. Squirt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing lovely. How about yourself? Happy Monday,
You know what?
everybody.
I can't complain. It's sprinkling just a little bit this morning, a lot mist. We are right here in San Diego. Beautiful here. I love it. And, I get to come here. I've been coming here every Anaheim. So it's going to be a little bit different. But, to people that have been glad to have you here. If you've been here before, you know it a lot. And it's a beautiful thing. If you're new here, this is a variety about the trades. We talk about all kinds of different things, 11 different areas and ideas. And we'd love your comments. Man, put it in the chat. To answering, and I'm not sure if I've got a bad
So,
service or if you do. Squirt,
I was
how's it
about to say
going?
it's looking like you're looking a little rough this morning on your connection over there. But
Am
we
I?
do want to,
Uh,
yeah.
I'll I'll see if I can find a while. Come back in.
All right. We do want to welcome y'all to the Trade Talks live show. Today's episode is sponsored by League Pro. We'd like to thank League Pro for sponsoring the episode, where they build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. They build two different pieces of equipment. You've got a probe, which is for that outdoor use, for that meter to the home service. Then you've got the sidekick, which is the pistol grip style. It's got an aluminum rod on it, kind of eliminates that layer of concrete whenever you're listening through slabs. So if you want to check out the equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. And if you don't know much about it, you can actually, I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. So if you want to discuss getting trained or anything, give me a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro and we can discuss that. Uh, but we are here at the Trade Talks Live where we hang out for an hour and talk trades. Blue collar trades. We talk kind of national news. We talk website reviews. We talk social medias. We talk materials. We talk trades themselves, new construction, service work, vehicles, safety. We cover a ton of different topics and things. Uh, but want to welcome everybody. Hope everybody's doing good this Monday morning. Uh, Roger's out in San Diego, kind of running into little connection issues. We're going to try to get that reset and get him back in here. But we'll go ahead and kind of start off on some national news today. United Airlines initiates $177 million maintenance facility construction. Guys, 177 million is a pretty good sized maintenance facility there. They've commenced construction on a 140,000 square foot ground service equipment maintenance facility at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas. This $177 million project is slated for completion in 2027, and it aims to support over 1,800 ground service vehicles. Guys, that's a lot of bays. The facility will enhance operations with improved battery charging stations, metal fabrication areas, and advanced electronic controls monitoring. Um, I like the metal fabrication areas. And then, like battery areas and charging stations, holy cow, I have seen so big of spaces blocked out to charge forklifts, things like that, that are typically used in a warehouse facility. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know how good it is because I can't. Yeah, I already see it glitching.
Oh, okay. Well, we will see. Uh, so, additionally, United has unveiled a 91,000 square foot technical operation training center, a $16 million investment designed to provide comprehensive training for technical operations personnel. And then this is going to feature sheet metal and composite training shops, desktop simulators, and scenario-based engine maintenance training. So, guys, they're going to teach kind of all aspects out here dealing with these vehicles, from the software end to actually working on the vehicles themselves and keeping vehicles maintained throughout the different uses. Um, these developments reflect United Airlines' commitment to enhancing fleet maintenance capabilities and employee training resources. The construction of the facility is expected to create approximately 4,000 construction jobs, bolstering the local economy. So it'll be pretty busy down there in Houston for the next couple of years on this project. Uh, the facility aims for LEED Silver certification. Dad's going to be happy to hear about that. We'll have to tell him whenever he gets back. But this is going to emphasize energy efficiency and environmental responsibility. Uh, you know, Roger's big on the LEED certifications, things like that. So am I. I'm a tree hugger. You know, I like to try to take care of the planet the best we can. And into these LEED certifications is the way to go. You're going to actually start taking care, maintaining everything that we actually do to the planet. And I love that myself. I think it's important to try to take care of everything that we do and try to save the energy that we're using on a normal day to day basis. So they're going to start putting in solar, things like that, all over the country, guys. That's where we are headed. And Matt, good morning, brother. See some comments in here real quick. Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing and Squirt, what's up, brothers? On my way to Phoenix. Yes, sir. Sure you're driving the truck, headed that away. Good deal. Thanks for tuning in. Doing a great job covering everything. Matt, you know, we try to cover a little bit of everything, every aspect of the trades for all of us. And man, I always sound good. I try to get in the right spots for sure. Let's move on into the bottom line here. Navigating financial implications of construction delays. Construction delays can significantly impact the project budgets, leading to increased cost and strained client relationships. Understanding the financial ramifications and implementing strategies to mitigate them is crucial for maintaining profitability. And, you know, we talk about this a lot with contracts, things like that. You've got to read, you've got to have that clear communication when things are going to be done, and a clear schedule so that you actually know when delays start to happen. See, looks like we got them working on tuning back in. So some of the financial impacts that this is going to have, guys, it's going to increase labor cost. Extended project timelines may result in additional wages and potential overtime pay. I had to deal with this on a project where they were like, "Oh yeah, you're going to be down here. You're only going to be on this project for a few months." Well, then you get out there, kind of get started, get going, start really making some movement on the project. Well, then they're like, "Well, hold on, like the machines got pushed out a few extra months, so y'all aren't going to be able to hook them up until then." And it's like, well, thanks for telling me now, but I'm going to have to cut my crew. I'm going to have to do, like, there's a lot of things. Let me get a hold of the PM. Let me figure out all the charges and fees that we're going to increase, because to have me on the job an extra few months, well, that's superintendent time that isn't just in the normal man hours, things like that. So we had to go back and try to fight for some of those things. But material price fluctuations, big thing that we're going on with right now. Delays can expose projects to market volatility, leading to higher material costs. If a schedule gets pushed out far enough and you're not actually getting the material and you lose your time slot on everything you locked in for your estimates, this could really incur some major charges. Also, liquidated damages. Contracts often include clauses that penalize the contractor for not meeting the deadlines, resulting in financial penalties. And guys, this is X amount a day, a week, a month, depending on what it is and what project you're actually working on. Liquidation damages can add up so quick and so high, but then also figuring out exactly where those liquidated damages get spread to, who caused all the delays. Is very important. It's good to have all this stuff laid out in your contract. Uh, some of the mitigation strategies on this, some comprehensive planning, develop detailed project schedules with buffer periods to accommodate unforeseen issues. And that's something real big. If you are a GC on a project, you want to have a little bit of fluff time, playtime in there, because sometimes you don't know how bad it is until you start digging in or things like that. Some delays on some things arriving to the site or weather delays, things like this. Got to have some fluff time in there so that you can make modifications. Looks like you found a better spot.
Can you hear me?
I can a little bit.
Okay. Let me try to change my settings here. All right. Can you hear me now?
A little bit. You sound a little faint, I think. Oh, yeah.
All right. Are we doing any better?
There we go. That's better.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm literally on my phone.
Okay.
So
Hey,
coming to you a little bit different way, whatever it takes.
I was going to say, it looks like a good connection. So, that's a good thing.
Good deal. All right.
Uh,
Keep going. Tell me where you're
I,
at.
I was going to say, I am in the bottom line talking about some of the mitigation strategies here. Regular communication is important. You want to maintain open lines of communication with clients and the subcontractors to address potential delays proactively. Like I was saying earlier about the liquidated damages, is figuring out who caused the actual delay, because some delays on the tile guy keeps that tulip partition guy from ever being able to start their work. So if they're waiting on a late shipment of tile, that's going to domino effect to other contractors. So you got to be clear and let those subcontractors know about the delays so that everybody's aware, so that you can actually
So,
make.
so Squirt, did y'all have it in contracts that y'all could actually back charge other trades, or was that put on the general contractor?
It's usually on the general contractor themselves. But we were just talking earlier about the liquidated damages for things kind of going over. And it was like, for a stipulation like that, sometimes the different subcontractor that actually caused the delay that kept this contractor from ever being able to actually start their work. So you've got to kind of put that into thought, because everybody actually has to have an allocated enough time to do their jobs.
You bet.
Also, you want to risk management, identify the potential risk early, and develop contingency plans to address them effectively. Um, like right now, a big risk is tariffs and things like that. So I'm sure everybody's putting in clauses in their contracts. If any new tariffs come out, there will be a change order that coming to this contract so that you can address that.
So
Uh,
is there any technology integration that you can use to help alleviate some of this?
some project management software to track the progress and identify any bottlenecks that you've got that can really help with you that way.
I like that. That's good stuff. Okay, safety. And this is stuff that happens every day, but preventing common on-site injuries. And construction sites are inherently hazardous with common injuries, including falls. Number one, slips, trips, and falls are the biggest thing out there. We talk about it all the time. But then the other things are electrocutions, struck by. Implementing proactive measures can significantly reduce these risks. And, you know, we've both been on job sites for many, many years. And we've seen the worst accidents in the world. We've seen slips, trips, and falls. I want to say every day. It's not every day, but it's not far from it. and I think that things are getting better. But what really are some prevention strategies that people can implement? I mean, not just for them. I mean, none of us wants to get hurt, and we look at it that way. But to be honest, the big thing to think about is when you're a foreman, when you're a superintendent, when you're a company owner, you don't want anybody at your company to get hurt. So, what are some things that can be implemented to help make sure that these things don't happen?
First thing you want to do is comprehensive training. You want to make sure that all your workers are trained, receiving the right training for equipment operations, hazard recognition, and emergency procedures. And like you said there, as the foreman, if you've got a lot of new guys that are to the trade, walk them through an area, pointing out some different hazards, some things that they may not see, like some PVC piping being a little damp in the morning and you slipping and busting your butt on it. Yeah, I saw this guy do that. Um,
Uh-huh.
it happens, but to let people know, hey, early in the morning, be extra careful if you're walking around the plastic pipe on the ground because it gets moist. Condensation happens from the fog in the morning, and it's slick as snot for because you are just going to slip. There's nothing that you can do except avoid stepping there, and that's just things that people be aware of. Uh, PPE is huge. Mandate the use of the appropriate PPE, such as helmets, gloves, and fall protection gear. Uh, Gloves was one of the biggest things. Doing just normal task over and over, you end up getting nicks and cuts to your hands all the time. And I can remember back whenever I was younger and gloves weren't a mandatory thing. And you'd come home with these, and it's like, well, how'd you get that cut? And it's like, I don't know. I was working. We don't think about it much. Wear gloves. Get some gloves that are cut resistant, things like that. If that's a normal, uh, PPE is huge, and it prevents all the little common things happen on the job, like nicks and cuts. Pull out a band aid. Got to fill out a report. So,
And,
regular
and
inspections.
yeah, I was going to say, you've got regular inspections here. Randy, it's not just regular inspections on your PPE, but the equipment, everything.
Yes.
And I go back to a speaker named Chad Hymas that had a lift, and he's trying to lift this big bale of hay, and he knew he had hydraulic problems. Well, the hydraulic problems ended flipping the bale over, and it landed on top of him, broke his neck. He's now in a wheelchair forever. And man, it's just inspect your equipment. And if there's something wrong with it, take care of it. But the best thing you could do is develop a culture of safety for your company. That way, when a plumber looks over and he sees an apprentice and he's taking off his glasses because he's trying to see something, he's like, hey, you need to get those back on. And you explain why. Because the last thing you want to do is to see this kid lose an eye, and then now there's a problem because you're going to see this kid every day the rest of your life if he stays in the trade, and you're always going to remember, man, I could have told him no. So
Yes.
developing a safety culture is one of the biggest things that you can do. But Randy, let's move into new construction because this is normally where the major accidents happen.
Definitely so. New construction, it's a lot, but one of the last things I was going to say there on that safety is the best way to do this is give everybody the stop work authority,
Absolutely.
even for those apprentices. And that just instantly lets everybody know, wait, safety is important here. I love this. Um, but yeah, so new construction, designing for climate resilience in the new construction. As climate changes intensifies, constructing buildings that can withstand extreme weather events is becoming increasingly vital. And even here in Texas, the colder is getting colder, the hotter is getting hotter.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start changing the way we build our homes throughout the country because it's all changing just a little bit and a little bit. But guys, time's passing what seems to me faster and faster. Uh, so a lot
You're
of the
just getting
design
old, Randy.
probably so, design considerations here: elevated structures in flood prone areas, elevating buildings can prevent water damage. And I remember the first time going down to Houston and stuff and seeing all these houses up on stilts. And it's like, man, wait, what's going on down here? And it's like, well, yeah, because whenever the hurricanes come and the floodwaters rise, it keeps the homes dry. And it's like, holy cow, okay, that's pretty neat. Uh, the things that you find so cool as a kid.
Hmm.
Reinforced materials. Utilizing materials resistant to high winds and seismic activity enhances structural integrity. And this is just, the taller buildings, they can flex, they can move a little bit with the winds and things like this that it deals with. And if you really get on those upper floors and you stand still and try to feel it, you can feel the building sway a little bit, uh, which I've always thought was pretty cool. Energy efficiency, incorporating insulation and energy efficient systems, reducing the building's carbon footprint and operational cost. Like we were talking about with here, the colder's getting colder and the hot's getting hotter. So insulation's a good way to fight this and be able to deal with that. Still keep those energy costs down. Also,
So
green
cool.
spaces. Integrating vegetation can mitigate heat island effects and manage storm water runoff. Um, this is the, what is it? Collection ponds, things like this, just all sorts of different stuff to be able to fight different spaces and things like this. Uh, in New Orleans, post Hurricane Katrina, many homes were rebuilt with elevated foundations and storm resistant materials, showcasing effective climate resilient design. And that's where everything's headed. We talk about that a lot on our channel, trying to come up with some new materials to help counteract everything that we're dealing with in these spaces. If you've got a lot of fires, trying to create some systems in your home to help protect it, keep it from burning as much as you can. Uh, so
You
doing
know,
different things in different spaces is big.
Squirt is funny because I mean, you know that I was interviewed to be on a TV show, and what they're making this TV show about is homes that can be built to withstand either hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, floods, and whether that's from, a flood from inside the house or outside the house. There's a lot of different things there. But I think it's neat that we're starting to look at this and try to make things happen. It's better to build a house for that than to wait till you've got the house built and say, okay, now how do we keep this from happening? So I love that
Yes.
they're looking at it this way. So let's go into mindset growth because stress management techniques for high pressure projects. And managing stress is crucial for maintaining productivity and well-being during demanding construction projects. Now, we've been on jobs where, I used to tell people that your job as a superintendent is to get the job done on time, under budget, and safely. And you've got three things you're fighting there. You're fighting the calendar, you're fighting labor, because labor is your biggest factor on the job, and then you're fighting safety because, look, it's not easy to do what we do each and every day without getting hurt. You've got to think about it. And so I love this. But if you're the foreman, the superintendent, even the company owner, sometimes it can be very, very stressful. But effective techniques to help you get over the stresses, or not really get over it, but to deal with it, is prioritization. And you break tasks into manageable components and focus on high impact activities. And we used to do a morning huddle every day where we literally talked about, look, what are we doing today? What are we working on? Do we have enough people? Can we do this safe? Or, hey, make sure that y'all think about this, and just different things like that. But then time management. Utilize scheduling tools to allocate time effectively and avoid last minute rushes. I've I've been on so many jobs where you do things according to schedule, but then towards the end, it's like there's a million little things that pop up that didn't get finished or done or complete. And number one, you're normally out of hours. You're normally you don't have the bank of hours that you've hid from something else. And time management is one of the biggest things. But one thing that I used to be really good at is going in and looking, are we really finished with this area? Is there any little detail? Because the little details will kill you because you're moving from little detail to little detail to little detail, little detail. And it costs you twice as much time, because now it's all mobilization and you're not getting stuff done.
I was gonna say
And
I loved doing punch list
yeah,
because it would show me all the little things that they're looking for, so that that next job I went to, all those little things I'm just doing as I install, because it's like, oh, they're going to come back and gripe about this. Let me just go ahead and take care of that now, so nobody has to
absolutely.
come back for that mobile.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, the mindfulness practices, it's such a big deal. But, and I know you've seen me because you look at me funny sometimes, but incorporate techniques like deep breathing or meditation to maintain focus and reduce anxiety. I mean, sometimes the best thing you can do is just take a deep breath. And it's just, you see something and it's like, okay, this is going to be a problem. And you can freak out, or you can just take that deep breath. And then and it's funny because I used to teach people, because I have been taught, but breathe in for like 4 seconds and then hold it for 3 seconds and then let it out for 4 seconds. And you breathe in slow, you hold it for a little bit, and then you let it out slow. And that to me is one of the smartest things I've ever done. And anybody wants any information of it, I've got a great breath coach. She's phenomenal. And I love what she does, but she teaches you how not to stress out. She teaches you how to control yourself. And the more we control ourselves, the better it is for our health. So I think that's phenomenal. But also physical activity. Engage in regular exercise to alleviate stress and improve overall health. But it's not just the exercise, it's the stretching. And anybody who's familiar with David Goggins, he says, look, it wasn't the exercise. He had built his body to where it was just a solid muscle. But what he didn't realize is not stretching his muscles were killing him. And it takes stretching, keeping them loose and things like that. What's the same for us? We've developed a different kind of muscle, and it's from lifting pipe, climbing ladders, doing different things. But at night, if we will stretch before we go to bed, it's so much better for us. But then build a support system, build a network of colleagues or mentors to share challenges and seek advice. And this part's great because I have people reach out to me all the time saying, look, will you coach me? Do you have people in place that you can talk to? And a lot of people don't, so they'll reach out to me and say, look, I wish that you would start a mentorship group or a coaching group to where I've got somebody to bounce ideas off and talk to, because I've never been through all this. So it's tough, but I like it. Matt McDonough says, or take a shot of bourbon. uh Sometimes that's what it takes. But it's great. Those are the big deals. Do you have any tips for people when it comes to mindset growth?
uh, like, a good way to manage the stress is to figure out the spots that are going to be stressful for the day. Do a walkthrough that morning, plan that day out. Like, my favorite was planning the day, and plan the work and work the plan is what I used to always say,
Yep.
because then yeah, that's coming, but I'm at least getting ready for it, so that I can deal with that situation and get through it, and I can start to think about it already starting that morning. Because if it's an afternoon task, guess what, guys? You may figure out some creative way of doing it through that first 6 hours of the day before you hit that task. And it's like, okay, boom, here it is. Here I am. Yeah, but I know exactly how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to approach it, because I've been thinking about it all day. And it's going to help make that situation not as stressful as it could have. And I think that's one of the best ways right there.
Squirt, talk a little bit about Leak Pro. I mean, I'm at a conference, and I remember coming in here last year. The founder of the conference is like, man, look, I got a problem. I got a leak. Can you go for a ride with me? It is literally an hour before the conference starts, and we get in his car and take a 3 hour trip to go look at a problem, which luckily turned out not to be a plumbing leak. It was a roof leak, and I was able to identify that. But talk a little bit about Leak Pro and really what makes it amazing, because I think that the complete kit is what every plumber and plumbing company owner needs to start out with. But talk a little bit about it and what you think Leak Pro is all about.
It really is. We do want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here and talk trades for an hour. Different tools, strategies, mindset. We talk a little bit about everything. Uh, but Leak Pro does build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. Like you were saying, the complete kit that comes with both pieces of equipment. The probe T handle style, got a stainless steel rod on it, real durable for those outdoor leaks, kind of that meter to the home surface. Whenever you step foot inside, though, you really want that side kick. It's a pistol grip style with an aluminum rod, but that aluminum rod kind of eliminates the layer of concrete that you're listening when you're looking for a leak. But also, the complete kit comes with a remote controlled outlet for your compressor so that you can be a one man operation whenever you're actually looking for leaks on the slab, like that. Uh, if you don't know anything about leak detection, I do a 2 day in person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas, where I teach you how to locate lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab, one leak just outside of the slab, so you kind of know what that sounds like too. Uh, but also, I teach you how to isolate branch lines on a sewer system from the double clean out outside of a home to determine exactly where a sewer system. If you want to check that out, visit www.leak-pro.com or give me a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro, and we can discuss equipment or training and help you out there.
And I'm telling you, the training is phenomenal. We built a training center. I have tried multiple electronic leak detection systems. The day that I found Leak Pro, I thought this was the most phenomenal system I'd ever tried, and literally started talking to the owner then, saying, "Look, this is magic." So it is just good stuff. But the training, I've been to training in California, I've been to training in Florida, and I don't think I've ever been on a training center that helped me find things the way like the one that we've built. So the good thing is you learn to do things that other people aren't doing, and it's phenomenal. So all trades, we're talking about innovations in tools and equipment benefiting all trades. And advancements in technology have led to tools that enhance efficiency and safety across various construction trades. Now, the biggest thing that I see is changes in the trades along the years are the cordless power tools. Now, there's a lot of other things and new techniques and things, but even a lot of those require cordless power tools. But improved lithium ion batteries, the life has led to 60 volt, 80 volt cordless platforms. Milwaukee is my favorite. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. But replacing corded and even gas powered tools, it's great for remote or high mobility tasks. And remember, we had a storm. God, Randy, was it a year ago already? And we couldn't get into the property. Trees were blown down, limbs were blown down, and we ran over to the big box store, and I bought two battery operated chainsaws because I didn't have them. And I bought Milwaukee, and I bought I think a 16 and a 14. And me and Randy are out there trimming trees so we can get people into the building and do things. But it blows my mind how powerful these battery operated chainsaws were, because I've seen them before where it's like, okay, and even some electric ones that were okay, but this was great. And then other innovations, the laser layout systems. And we talk about laser layout systems, but also things like total stations are great for laying out points on a slab or even points on the ground to get backhoe operators out there to dig things.
Yeah. I saw one the other day, like after the floor's
I
poured
know
and
what
you
you're
have a
talking about. I
concrete
saw it
floor,
too. Yes.
this robot that will print the layout on the floor, print the walls, print everything. Do you know how quick people would be able to go in and do their jobs if the prints were printed on the floor?
You bet.
Guys, oh, where's the wall? It's right there. There, measure off the wall. It's there. Finished wall. Yep, that's what that is. That's it. That is
Isn't that
finished.
huge?
Like that, man. Talk about Jetsons. Here we go. Yes, printing it on the floor. Like that blew my mind whenever I saw that.
And you know, the other one that you talk about a lot is the smart PPE with wearable safety glasses, wearable tech. I mean, the wearable vests, fall protection devices, just all kinds of stuff that literally it's crazy. But the safety vests now have fall detection. So, you got people working in an area that's wet where slip, strips, and falls can happen. When somebody goes down horizontal, it notifies people. But stuff like that's big. But real-time location tracking, and imagine how big that is, because we always talk about muster points, and the muster point, the big thing about the muster point is not that you're meeting 50 yards away from the job site or something like that. It's that who's not here. So you're at the muster point. You've got a list of people that are supposed to be there, and you look up and there's 3 people not there. Here's why muster points, and I love this, the locating device built into the vest. If somebody's not at the muster point and they don't have things like this, firemen are going back in the building. They're going in to look for whoever's not here because there's lives to save. But if you can look at this and say, hey, they're not in the building, they're just in a different muster point, or hey, they snuck off the job site and went and ate lunch early.
Yep.
Whatever it is, you're not risking people's lives to save people that aren't even there. So to me, that is awesome, but it helps keep crews safe and accountable. And when you're looking at jobs like that and what you can do to make it safer, this new technology that's coming out for all trades, not just the skilled trades, but for all trades, it's going to end up saving people's lives. So let's move into laws and licenses. And you're talking about requirements for emerging construction roles. Now, these are
Yes.
roles that right now a lot of people aren't even thinking of.
Well, that's it. As trades evolve, so do the roles. New positions get created, and new technologies mean new license certification too. I can remember working at a large company where some of the people in the office, they were like, "Yeah, they had me come up with my job title. Here's what it is. Nobody ever did this before, So they were like, "Hey, what do you want your position to be called?" They created it. Uh,
Yep,
and
I've
guys,
been there.
this happens a lot. That's it. As these new technologies come out, well, guess what? There was never anybody that dealt with world coordinates before at our company. So who's going to do that now? Oh, well, let's do the world coordinate guy. No, here we're going to make it a point setter or something. You can create it what you want. But a lot of the key areas that are requiring license and certification, talk about a lot. EV charger installation.
One of your
All you
favorites.
electricians out there, that's it. Like, if you're an electrician, this is, if I was an electrician, this is definitely a certification that I would be going out to get.
Okay,
If
now,
it's
now
just
ready.
my brain and curiosity, I don't know, but it's something. This is the future. It's where we're headed. It's going to be in everywhere before long.
Randy, we were in an Airbnb in a little bitty town called Hurricane, Utah. And it's a little bitty town, isn't it?
Yep.
It's what, 200 miles, 120 miles north of Vegas, probably 200 or 300 miles south of Salt Lake City, built in the side of a mountain. And don't get me wrong, this is a nice Airbnb. But Randy, one of the guys had a Tesla truck.
Yep.
And what was in the garage?
Nothing. They pulled a
Well,
cord out of Justin's Tesla so he could charge his truck
okay, but he had to plug it into the garage, right or no?
into an outlet in the wall.
Okay, just a
There,
regular
there,
wall
there,
outlet.
there wasn't. Yep, there wasn't an actual charger there. I,
Okay,
I knew where you're headed. I was going, no, no. They actually got Justin's emergency charging cord.
okay, that's right,
Is
because
what he was
Justin's got
using.
a Tesla too.
Justin drives a Tesla. Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
I knew
so
where you were headed, and I was hoping that you were accurate. But not this guy,
okay,
not this
okay, I thought that there
guy.
was. Okay, good deal. Okay, so let me ask you a question while we're on this, because it's something we don't talk about a lot. Would you like to have a Tesla truck?
uh, honestly, possibly. Uh, like we hung out with Nils and he was driving it. He said it was the first time that he used the auto drive. And he drove all the way across Utah. He said all I had to do is kind of pay attention. I could sit there, I could eat, I could talk with my wife, strategize, do planning, things like that. He said you've got to pay attention some, but auto drive, like that's probably the one thing that makes me think the most on, yeah, I might go ahead and do it. Tesla's leading on the AI and awareness for sure. Like actually riding in one of those and watching everything that shows up on that screen, it's a trip.
Oh,
Uh,
it's cool. It is
so
cool.
like, and then I think when I want it to automatically drive for me, great. I like doing road trips and stuff. But hey, if I could just turn it on auto drive from this charge station to the next, because you are going to have to stop and charge, which is the downside. Because I do like to do road trips, but most of the
Yeah,
stuff
but
running around town, headed downtown for the night, things like that, I'm not going to drive more than 250 miles in town in a given day. So it would be
Randy,
feasible.
you got to stop and get gas too.
Correct. That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
you still got to stop.
Hmm.
Now, my interesting question would be, how much longer does it take to charge than it does to just fill up with gas? And is there faster ways to do it? I know at one point Julie had wanted a Tesla,
Yeah.
and at the time that we were looking at it, the next year they were going to have solar panels on it. So it's like, okay, let's don't get it right now. Let's wait till we get the solar panels because she was driving a lot from Dallas to Houston, Dallas to Austin, Dallas to San Antonio,
Yep.
and it's just beyond the range. So it's like, well, if it had solar panels on the roof, it would probably make it.
Yep.
So anyway, go back on the jobs like the drone operators for construction mapping. I think that is
Yeah.
one of the freaking coolest things.
Uh, Here, building performance testing. I love testing the limits of stuff. This is a
You
little
bet.
different though, guys. Uh, Blower door, duct leakage, things like that. Test and balance, just different things. Like it's all different certifications and things. Before long, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that goes in and certifies the whole internet of things in a building. That's going to be something that ends up coming out too to make sure that everything's actually communicating with itself. It's not just going to be all the data wires. It's going to be a little more because you're going to have this new.
All right, let's move into business training because enhancing project management skills. Now, I was a superintendent, not a project manager, but I went through some PMI training. The Project Management Institute, I thought it was phenomenal. But project success isn't just about building things, installing things, getting things done. It's about managing your scope, which is something most people in the field don't think about. It's about managing time, budget, and people. But managing scope is huge. And scheduling. So you need to be a master scheduler in order to get things done right. And I used to do it on a calendar. I would draw out a job. Where were we supposed to be? When were we supposed to be there? And how long were we supposed to be there? And how many men did I need according to my schedule and my labor breakdown? Nowadays, there's platforms like Buildertrend, CoConstruct, and even using Google Calendar just to map out your subcontractors, your inspectors, your materials delivery, everything like that. And you can really go into detail on it to get it the way it needs to be. Then there's also softwares for budget tracking. And there's job costing software like Jobber, which we use, QuickBooks, which we use, or Notify, which I haven't, which lets you catch overages in real time, not months later. And the good thing is, if you're tracking your job right, and like I said, guys, I did this on paper, but if you're tracking things right and you're looking, it's like, hey, I'm about to go over all my hours. You can look at, what's the problem here? What did we do? Is it the people we have in here, or what really happened? Now you can also track things like change order protocols. You can create career systems for documenting scope changes. And guys, scope changes are where general contractors will eat you up. But scope changes are big, and pricing them before they delay the work. And if you can do stuff like that, You're going to be a great project manager because you're going to stay ahead of everything else. But your daily logs and punch lists are something that you need to be great at documenting. And I've had some amazing project managers that I loved working with because they could literally go back through and look at everything. And they're like, well, here's where we had a problem here. Here's where we had a problem here. And a lot of these problems are issues that we can take to the superintendent or the general contractor and say, hey, look, we should not had to deal with this and we need money for it. But if you can encourage your superintendents or even your foreman, your lead men, people like that, to maintain logs and digital punch lists to track accountability and avoid disputes, it saves you money in the long run. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah. Uh,
All right,
I was gonna
let's
say,
roll
let's
into
move into
vehicles.
vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, I
One of your
love this.
favorites.
I
Yep.
love this. Okay, so the question is, should you wrap your work truck? Branding versus budget. Pros of vehicle wraps. And you've got some great stuff here, but your marketing ROI. This is a one-time investment. You know, you can normally stay under $4,000, maybe five if you're going in depth, crazy stuff. But a full wrap you can normally get for under 5 grand. This is 24/7 brand exposure. And what I like about this is, when we had our company over on Arapahoe, we'd park vehicles where they're seen driving down the road. That way, it's like a billboard, guys, and it's about that big. But in high traffic areas, impressions can exceed 30,000 views a day. Imagine if you've got an extra truck because you don't have a technician. What if you parked it at the big box store? And literally, I mean, you could get on a little motorized bicycle, ride it over to where the vehicle's parked, put it inside the back, move it to the next store, get on the motorized vehicle, ride back to the office. You're just moving that vehicle around day after day after day. It gives you a professional image. It's clean, it's a consistent vehicle branding, which gives the impression of a larger company, a larger, more trustworthy operation because you look like a professional now. And then you can have useful information on it, your phone number, your service area, a standout logo. You want a logo that people see and it connects with you, but that can convert park trucks into lead generation magnets that are out there every single day for you. Now, what are the cons? Well, there's upfront costs. Now, we leased our vehicle, so we put the wrap into it. That way, we didn't have to pay for that upfront. It was a few dollars a month added to the lease to cover it, and that part was great. But partial wraps, door logos are cheaper, but they may not deliver the same brand punch. So you've got to figure, do you want to save the money up front, or do you want to invest in that as a long-term investment, knowing it's going to help make your phone ring? Then maintenance. Wraps can peel or fade, especially with heavy use or sun exposure. And in Texas, we get a lot of sun, but luckily we never had that problem. And then a scratched wrap might require a partial reprint to where they have to go in and peel it off and redo it. And luckily, if the people that wrap your vehicles close, they can probably just reprint one section pretty easy. And wraps are not legal everywhere. Some HOAs or commercial zones restrict parking wrap vehicles in your driveway. Now, my thing is they would let me park them overnight, but I ran the company out of my house. They did not want me parking those vehicles in the driveway all day. And I'm like, guys, you've got people that live all through this neighborhood that have vehicles that are wrapped and branded and stuff like that. So we ended up doing something really smart. We talked to the golf course across the street, asked them if we could park the vans in the parking lot right there in front of my house. And they said, yeah, the HOA could not say a word about it. So I thought that was great. What about you, Scott? What are your favorite things about wrapped or unwrapped vehicles? Is
Eh,
it right for like single company chuck in a truck companies or something?
like honestly, I would just go wrapped because they stand out so much. Like you just think as just a normal person on your drive into work today, which vehicle stood out? It's going to be the ones that you happen to pass that were wrapped, if you passed any, because those vehicles, they just stand out from everything else out there. You see all these with the little door placards that, yeah, I'm a construction company. I'm in a truck. Give me a call. That's fine. But if you really want your phone to ring, go ahead and invest in that wrap. I think it's just money well spent. And I'm kind of a reality brain guy. So there's my reality truth there. Go ahead and wrap it. Invest that money there because, just like you said, it's a billboard that runs 24/7 wherever you leave it.
I love it. All right, social media spotlight. And this is a good one because we talking about my brother today. Mr. Dustin Stelzer, Electrician U on YouTube. And man, he does good stuff, but it's hosted by Dustin. Electrician U is one of the most respected and technically deep electrical trade channels on YouTube. And where Dustin and I were different, Dustin went deep for the electrician. That's why it's called Electrician U. Me, man, I wanted to teach homeowners how to fix their plumbing. Now, I have gone deeper certain times about certain things because, I mean, we know who our audience is, and we get a lot of plumbers, we get a lot of electricians. Yeah, Dustin, we get electricians, and we get HVAC techs. But man, he's really good. He does great stuff. But Randy, talk about why it's valuable and why you picked this. And I see you've got his channel pulled up. I love it. Man, tell me about it.
Congratulations, Dustin, on 800,000. Just
Absolutely.
noticed that. I didn't notice that this morning. Uh, but guys, he has fun. Okay. Why loose wires causes fires? Why he pre-twists all the wires that he does? And look, what kind of video starts out like that? Something that you want to watch. Okay, that's like a TV show right there. Just that is how most TV shows start. I feel like that I watch a lot nowadays that draw my attention.
Yeah.
Uh, this simple formula mistake is making you sound wrong. This is deep diving into different formulas and stuff that electricians use on a regular basis. Uh, how backlinks and blog posts can double your Google rankings, digging into the business side of everything, and teaching you business tips and tricks to help you in your business. This is the thing I like about these socials, guys. They don't just want to teach you one thing, they want to teach you multiple things that they've learned from their experience. The main reason I know that is that's why this guy does most of the things that he does on his channel because things he's learned through his years of experience that he wants to put out there for others. Try to put them on a fast track. And that's the key to socials is if you're out there actually studying and researching them, learning from guys like Dustin, Roger, it's going to help speed up the whole process for you in your career. And guys, that's what your trade is. It's your career. It's going to be your lifeline for everything. So kind of check it out. Different SEO things. Look, I think he's been researching you a little bit. Uh,
He has. We talked.
uh, and it's great though. Like, and that's one of the reasons that I like to bring Dustin up. He is one of the better electricians out there that I've known. I've got to meet personally, and I don't meet many social media electricians. So hey, if you are an electrician out there, come introduce yourself sometime, and I'll get to know you and pull you up in here.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'd actually like to bring you in for a podcast interview, get you on the show.
that's it.
I mean, we do some cool stuff.
Yeah, and we don't discriminate against any trades too hard. We may put
Yes,
a
we
broom in your
do.
hand. We may
Yes, we
give you a
do.
broom as you leave. Hey,
We can
use this
teach you how
on
to
some
use a
job.
broom. Yes. So
uh,
Randy, why should tradespeople other than plumbers, even outside of electrical, like I said, other than plumbers, why should they watch Electrician U?
to learn mindset, guys, a lot. Uh, you may be a different trade, but guess what? We all have electricity in our homes. You want to add a bidet toilet seat? You want to add a light fixture somewhere? You want to put a fixture outlet behind your TV so that you don't see the wires or whatever? Guys, you're going to want to watch people like this and learn from them so that you learn the right ways to do these DIY tasks because We're all tradespeople, so we're all mechanically inclined, I hope. Um, so you can watch these videos, learn from them to be able to do it yourself. And that's one thing I love to do, as many trades as I possibly can.
I love
Because
that.
it's just fun.
Yep. All right. Matt McDonough says, I wish I had a auto drive car going back and forth from Phoenix to Vegas all the time and all that. And then there's another one in there that says growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And it's LinkedIn user, so we don't know who it is. But, look, if you've got a growth mindset, you can do good things. So, and I know we normally ask questions at this point. So, Randy, they've got these things here at this conference that I think it'd be neat. I remember seeing them the first year, and I thought it was cool. Let me ask you 3 questions. Number 1,
Okay.
which fictional character would you hire as a social media manager?
Oh,
And I'll
wow.
repeat it again while you think about it. Which fictional character would you hire as a social media manager?
Oh, that's I'm uncertain there.
Okay.
Wow, I just want to go to Bart Simpson and tell you to eat my shorts, but that's probably
Okay.
not the right one.
That's not the right one. Yeah, that would not who I would want as my social media manager.
Man,
You
it'd
know,
have to be yeah.
okay, so me,
Okay.
I'm thinking somebody like Thor. I want
Okay.
somebody that's going to jump in, control things, and just get stuff done. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Uh, so we can come back because to me that's a fictional character.
Yep.
If you could invent a new holiday, what would it be called?
A new holiday.
Uh-huh.
Well, it'd be Henry's Day.
Henry's Day. Okay.
And it'd probably be very similar to St. Patrick's Day, I bet.
See, I figured yours would be like Green Day,
Yeah.
and like you said, St. Patrick's Day. So
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
got the color right.
Your color was right. Yeah.
Yeah, So anyway, just thinking.
Okay.
And then here's one just for you. What unique skill or hobby do you have that might surprise other people?
Ooh. I mean, everybody knows I'm pipe fitter, so that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I mean, gamer. Not
That's
many
that's what
people
I thought.
here. I was gonna say, not many people here actually hear about my gaming side. That's my true. There's a passion that
That's
I've
your
had
hobby.
my whole lifetime.
You bet.
That's it. That's one of my favorite hobbies. Enjoy that with all the kids and stuff too.
I love
Uh,
it.
that or art. Like do a lot of art side too occasionally that people don't ever hear or see.
Okay. See, I figured that it would be gaming or Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured
Legos.
that.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
For
I figured
sure.
one of those 2 things. All right, Squirt, we got just about a minute and a half left. Talk about our sponsor, League Pro.
I am Henry Wakefield, CEO of Leak Pro. We want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. Lets us knuckleheads come in here and talk trades for an hour. But Leak Pro does manufacture the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And we build 2 different pieces of equipment. I've got a probe for that meter to the home service. It's real durable, T-handle style, made for probing in and out of the ground, guys, even if you run into rocks. Whenever you head inside, though, or you're listening through a sidewalk or a driveway, even, you'll want to pull out that sidekick. It's got an aluminum rod on there that kind of eliminates that layer of concrete whenever you're listening for a leak. If you don't know anything about it, give me a call and we'll talk about some training. I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas, where I teach you how to locate lines under a slab. I've got 11 leaks under a slab to run you through that, how to pinpoint locate. One just outside of the slab itself so that you know what an underground leak sounds like also. But beyond that, I also teach you how to locate leaks in a sewer system, all from the double clean out outside of a home. Go through and isolate branch lines through a home so that it's not just, oh, we got to replace your whole sewer system. It's, hey, here's the bad line under the house. Here's a couple options that we can discuss. So if you want to learn anything about that or check out our equipment, visit the website at www.leak-pro.com or give me a call and we can talk about either one at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And I'm Henry and be happy to talk about it with you.
It's great. Thank you so much. Look, we love Leak Pro. We think that it is the best leak detection system on the market. So if you want to learn how to grow yourself as a plumber or your company, like you said, go check out www.leak-pro.com or give him a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all being here today. I am fixing to go jump into a conference and learn. So I hope that y'all have an amazing week, and I will see you here again tomorrow from right here in sunny San Diego. Whatever you do out there today, guys, do it safe.
Hey guys, happy Monday. Hope to see you back here tomorrow during your lunch break. I'm Henry Wakefield. Bye guys. Get out there and hit it effing hard.
See y'all.